Stand by for action. Anything can happen in the next half hour.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Did you enjoy that? Right, now our guest tonight, the no introduction, it's Yorkshire Deb.
Hello.
And it's John Hamer, all the way up there in Scarbados. And there's me in Fockham Hall.
Yeah.
And good evening, everybody. We've got an exciting show tonight. I mean, it's so exciting that, well, it's a show of this, that, and the other, and too much this and that, isn't it?
No. It'll be knickerwagging, that's for sure.
I can't contain the excitement.
Right, we've got now. Now John's going to talk about. Now you're sharpening. You know, you're going to bury the hatchet, aren't you? Because you're going to talk about, and this is in a mild way, something about. Well, no, I'll let you get on with the title later on, but it's going to be quite interesting. So we'll wait for that.
It's just to provoke a little discussion amongst us all, including the chat people as well.
Yeah, that's it. And we're going to talk about the Loch Ness Monster. Now, the title of the show is I.T.M.A. Now, I.T.M.A, it's that man again. And that actually came
It's
from
that monster again.
Is that monster again? That's right. And it came from World War II, because when Mr. H was, well, we thought he was doing naughty things. Not us personally, because we weren't alive then. But
yeah.
And they would call it that. All the news would say was, it's that man again, because he kept cropping up. But now we've got Klaus Slob, as I call him. He keeps cropping up like a fart in a telephone booth, doesn't he? Or Ben Penny, you know. No, you're going to, what is it now? You are own nothing and be happy. All except me, because I'll have all your money.
Is that a German accent, Chris?
That's Swiss, actually.
Well done.
That's Swiss, isn't he? Anyway, shall we say hello to everybody in chat? And I don't think YouTube have done the thing where they put me down at, was it coming on at 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday or something?
Yeah.
Well, it's a hell of a lot tonight. We've got Bob Hollyoak. What UK time is the show on? I don't know, mate. I'm just here. I'm here for the bit.
Turn up.
And we've got who are you?
I don't know.
Sue Monk. Good evening all. So hello, Sue. We've got Joe Weeks.
Hello, Sue.
Hello, Sue.
Hello, Joe.
Hi, Sue.
And we've got Louise Wilcox. And and now we've got rugby time, and Fockham time is different to UK summertime, isn't it? So because we're 30 seconds ahead, aren't we, Bob and Fockham Hall? We're both 30 seconds ahead of the standard time, you know. We've got Kim. Now Kim can back me up with what I'm going to say tonight. And Kim's sitting there thinking, what the bloody hell is he going to say tonight?
Yeah, got worried now.
That's right. And we've got Louise and just another distraction. And then we've got, I like this one. We got here Engelbert Humperdonk. Please release me, let me go.
We've got you for now. We'll keep you for now.
Anyway, I think here he comes. Just take me. Hi, John, Deb, and Chris. I've just finished the post fabrication and safety assurance work on our first two. Oh yes, because it says David Jacobs, but us three know who it is. It's the man that makes heaters. Any clues? Man that makes heaters. He survives.
Yes.
Survivalist. And I've just finished the post fabrication. Have you really? I hope it's not painful. And safety assurance work on our first two off-grid heaters, which were shipping soon. We're Swiss shipping soon. So Sue, make note of that because she's bought one. Recent modifications.
Oh wow!
Have doubled the heat output.
Brilliant.
Blimey, That's
well done, Dave.
Well done, mate. That's good.
I think it must be pointed out that. Sorry to interrupt. I think it must be pointed out that it's doubled the heat output without increasing the fuel usage.
Ooh, even better.
Do you realise, on a serious note, he could seriously save lives? He really could, because when it gets cold, people say, "Oh, you just put extra jumpers on." No, when your core temperature gets cold, and I've experienced that, you feel really ill, grumpy.
Yeah, you do.
My normal state, basically. I'm grumpy and miserable, you know.
Yeah.
This is Michelle. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
Hi, evening, Chris, Debs, and John.
Hi, Michelle.
Evening, all watching, listening, and in chat.
Yay.
Oh, that's it. So, hey, she was down the road to me. Hello, Cooey.
Mr. Shifter.
Mr. Shifter. Unfortunately, remember original I.T.M.A, Paul Green. Unfortunately, do you really? With the talentless Tommy Handley.
I don't even know Tommy Handley.
Tommy Handley was
Tommy Handley, and who was the other guy that was in it? I've forgotten now. Yeah, there were two main characters, Tommy Handley and somebody else.
Right.
Well, Max Miller.
That's Paul knows.
Max Miller was, in his time, if you saw his gags now, they wouldn't be all that, but he was very, very funny.
Yeah, he was.
And he lived in
He was
Brighton.
very risque as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, very risque.
Slightly.
And he always used to say,
he was very risque, yeah.
I mean, one of his gags was, here's a funny story. I came home one night and there's a man in a nude in my house. And I said to my wife, he said, "What's he doing here?" She said, "Oh, it's all right. It's a nudist come to make a telephone call." You know, and that it was, now that's light now, but then it was filthy. You know?
Yeah.
Now, what's it? Oh, hang on. We got here David Jacobs. I'm very grateful to Chris and especially John for their invaluable help. Oh, that kind.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. That's very, very kind of you.
We've bypassed Ralph. Good evening, Ralph.
Oh, Kiwi.
Ralph will have to be changing his name soon because it's nearly spring.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, Ralph Spring.
This is worse. It's as bad as William Shatner. Sorry, mate, if that's your real name.
I told him not to mention that, and he's off again.
Can you use chrome nickel steel for heater? Question for Survival Dave.
Ooh, no.
Well, I wouldn't know, but
Dave's replied.
Yeah, he has.
Yes, Uncle Bert. Nickel steel is great. No worries.
Oh well.
And
that's good to know.
We've now we got here Aunt Sally. Now I've got to say about Aunt Sally. I missed the first 5 minutes. Lines for you, I'm afraid. What does I.T.M.A mean? It's that man again, basically, and it was from World War II with Tommy Handley. Okay, and we now mean it nowadays. It's
radio show.
Klaus. That's right, Klaus Schwab. Sorry, John, I didn't mean to talk over you then. You said sorry.
No, just telling Aunt Sally that it was a radio show in the 1940s and 50s, a comedy show. Allegedly.
And Aunt Sally has been to see Miles. So, you know, sorry, I shouldn't say that, Aunt Sally, should I? Anyway, I just missed you.
Just let all the secrets out, you know.
I'm letting all the secrets. Oh, that's all right. I should give them the thumbs up. Right, we better get on with the show now. Are we going to start with your one or? Oh, by the way, I've got to call out that Dave and Dawn, who wrote the book, I've got to say this in Cockney rhyming slang because YouTube won't allow it. What really makes you Tom and Dick? Yeah. They will be recording the show. Because we can't have it on YouTube because it would be good evening and on BitChute on Wednesday the 20th. But I'm looking at ways in which, even though it's recorded, I can have a live audience. Yeah. So I may be doing it through Telegram, WhatsApp, or Facebook. So I'll let you know beforehand, and we'll show highlights of the mild stuff they talk about on YouTube. But just little highlights, because otherwise, you know, the censors will say, we can't have truth here. Off they go. Not having that. No. Right. Now, are we going? First of all, the Loch Ness Monster. Now, there was a poll in YouTube. Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster? I can't see it because I'm doing this through StreamYard.
We have 25 votes.
Yes.
And for yes is 52 and no is 48.
Oh, it's sort of in the middle, isn't it?
So we've got 25 votes, 52 yeses and 48 noes.
Percentage, sorry. 54%. 54% is yes and 46% is no.
Right.
Sorry.
Just like to confuse.
There's only a couple of things, isn't it? You know, there's 25 votes and 54 people voted for.
Yeah.
That's how the elections go, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I just must say this. Hang on. We got Dave says, no problem, Engelbert. The nickel and chromium is what makes stainless steel. It's fine for this application.
Perfect.
So there we go. And we got Aunt Sally said, I love going to Miles shop. It is nice, isn't it? Met some fine gentlemen in there. Oh, yes, that was Town Crier and John in there, who, not John Hamer, but another John from Waltham Abbey, who all looked healthy and younger than their years. I bought what they're on. We'll keep you posted when I rejuvenate.
Fantastic.
Yes. And we got here Dan Mac, the Levi Shatner pants are out of this world. I forgot to vote. It's up me off again. Right, now we've got a viewer all the way over in Siam, and if you don't know where Siam is, look it up on Google because it's the old name for the place.
It is.
There's a reason I said that, because I don't think he wants to sort of make it too clear his location. And it's John Richardson. Now you can see his comments on my BitChute channel, because there's a lot of people that can't comment on this channel on YouTube, and I can't answer them because what would happen? I'd answer them, press it to send, and it suddenly disappear into nowhere.
Yeah.
And they're censored either way. So the only way we can actually get around the censorship is to answer the comments on my BitChute channel. And this is what he said about the Loch Ness Monster. Now, before I go any further, I did believe that it was hogwash and it was a tourist attraction. Okay, I did believe that. John, what's your response to the Loch Ness Monster? Are you there?
It's not something I've ever investigated in depth, but just, you know, as a casual observer, shall we say, I would say it's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard in my life.
Right. Okay.
That's the only reason I say that. Well, not the only reason I say that. I know I'm in a minority of one here on this show, but yeah, I mean, I just don't have any firm evidence. I mean, perhaps you guys do, but I've never seen any firm evidence to say that it exists. So therefore, in the absence of any evidence that I'm aware of, then as far as I'm concerned, it's just absolute nonsense. I mean, it's allegedly some kind of dinosaur that's left over from, you know, the Jurassic times or whenever the dinosaurs were supposed to have lived. But of course, as anyone who's read my books will know that I don't even believe that dinosaurs ever existed in the first place, let alone survived through to this day. So, I mean, that's my only take on it. But I'm open-minded enough to hear your arguments for, and you know. So I mean, that's just my stance.
And you, Deb, what's your view on it?
I think because all the locks are connected out via tunnel systems, apparently, and I think that something large could actually exist. I know that I don't know actually. Somebody mentioned it once, but you just don't. I haven't dived under there, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But I know that they say it's something similar to like a plesiosaur or something that it looks like.
Yeah, which never existed. So yeah, there's no evidence whatsoever to support the existence of any dinosaurs in the past, let alone present day, and that's just my take on it. Okay.
Now, I noticed Jacob Jacobs, who's survived this day, says lots
I agree with that.
That is
Dave,
a classic.
That's an insult to the Loch Ness Monster if he exists. I'm just not acceptable. That's hate.
Well, I'm sort of, let's put it this way. Before a couple of days ago, I was more leaning towards John, his view, because I don't believe there was dinosaurs. And I thought it was a huge tourist attraction. And it's funny that it started in the 1930s when King Kong film started.
Right.
And and that. But I'll just read you this. Now, I am 50-50. I'm sort of halfway between the two. And I always am open-minded, although I do lean towards there not being one. But John Richardson has written, and excuse me reading this out, a very, very interesting point. And somebody I speak to at Stand in the Park, don't know who she is, Kim, has sort of backed me up on the surroundings a lot, because she's been there. I've never been there. And this is what John says. And it says here, if you do a show of the Loch Ness Monster, you might like to mention that I was there right on its banks by the water, the whole length of the loch, pacing it out on foot in 1975. And there were basically no tourists there. And this was at the absolute height of the British tourist season, August. It was extremely quiet and lonely and mysterious there. My brother and I both felt that special atmosphere. So much for the easily debunked and silly claim that the Loch Ness Monster is just an invention of the tourist industry, starting in 1934, just because many of the alleged photos were faked. Does not mean that the 2,000 eyewitnesses of this creature are all daft, deluded or lying. I'm sure it is very different now regarding tourism at the loch, but nearly 50 years ago I saw no signs of any real tourism there. My brother and I hardly encountered any cars travelling along beside the loch, and basically nobody walking along as we were doing, or camping beside it as we were doing each day and night. The loch was almost totally deserted. Imagine that huge lengthy lake with, apart from one boat after 7 days, no water traffic on it at all. Plus very, very few cars going along the Bankside Road. And I have the historic cine film to prove these key points. And now that's interesting. That was on BitChute. And if you want to read that and go on to my BitChute channel for last week's show, you'll see what he's written. He's written a lot more. Now, I was speaking to Kim, who's at Stand of the Park, and she was saying that it is a creepy place. She went there as a child. Now, Peter Scott, he actually photographed something, and he named it some sort of technical name, which I haven't done my research and looked it up. But what it was, an anagram of Peter Spot's little joke or something. Now, whether are true, whether those photographs are real, I do not know. But I do know that Colin, who does a lot of research for this show, his father was in the Merchant Navy during the war, and he saw something enormous, kind of monster, going along the side of his ship. So, and remember, he was at sea a lot, so he knew the difference between a whale, dolphins, and things like that. He would have known, because he was a very experienced sailor. So there are things, I think, in the sea. My view is there's a possibility, I don't know, but what gets me is there's been no carcass washed up on the shore of Loch Ness.
Yeah.
Unless it's rotted at the bottom, I don't know. Because it wouldn't, I don't know, you know.
I drove the length of Loch Ness, and I was surprised that did not open into the sea, because it's huge. You expect to see the sea at the end of it, but it's the weirdest place.
Really?
Mm.
Can you see the other side of the bank all the time, or does it get that huge that you can't sort of?
No, you can still see the other side of the bank, but it's like 2 miles across at one part.
It does open into the sea, but not actually as the loch. There's like a river that runs out of the loch into the west coast.
Yeah.
At Fort William.
I love Fort William.
Yeah, I've been as well, and it's a very strange place. It's got a very unique atmosphere.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily prove that there's some kind of monster there, does it?
No, you're right.
Well, we've got some interesting articles in chat. Now, we've got Love's Boat, moving on, and then we've got
Oh shit! My application's already in. Does that mean I've got no chance?
Yeah,
John, please don't apply for a job with Inverness tourists involved. Right. Why would they plant bones, etc., everywhere if it was not real?
I mean dinosaurs.
Oh, you mean dinosaurs? Well, I think John covered that. I don't know if you want to cover that a little bit now, or we covered it on a previous show, didn't we? Because I do not think dinosaurs exist.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, nobody's planted any bones anywhere. The bones that they dig up are basically rocks. You know, they are. I mean, which there are no bones. I mean, these things live a minimum, according to the mainstream, of 65 million years ago. So any bones that there were have turned to stone. There is no such thing as a dinosaur bone anyway. You know, because that's the idea. The fossils, they're not bones as such. So nobody's planted any bones, but all the dinosaur skeletons that you see in natural history museums all over the world are manufactured in a factory in China, and they openly admit this. All the natural history museums say that yes, these are not. Oh, sorry, no, these are not dinosaur bones. They are a mixture of ground up bones from other animals, glue and plaster, which are manufactured openly, admittedly, at this massive factory in China that supplies all the museums throughout the world. Now, the rider to that is that the natural history museums say, oh yes, all the real ones are kept under lock and key in the basement, and only very privileged individuals are able to go and see them. Yeah, well, how bloody convenient is that? You know, nobody outside this elite clique of people have ever seen a dinosaur bone or a dinosaur fossil, whichever you want to phrase it. So, you know, I mean, that's just a very brief snapshot of my research. But, you know, the whole dinosaur industry, and that's what it is, it's an industry, was fake to prove the theory of evolution. Because dinosaurs are a halfway house between sea animals and land animals and flying animals, or birds, as some people call them. Yeah. And that's all before it was about. The first dinosaur bones or fossils weren't found until around about exactly the same time that the theory of evolution was propounded. And, you know, and the clue's in the name. It's a theory. It's not a fact. And, you know, nobody in the history of humanity had ever dug up any dinosaur fossils until that period in time. And there were no written or verbal histories of ancient civilizations ever coming across these bones, which just to me, that's impossible. Absolutely impossible.
Spot right on. I mean, there's whale bones, which are monsters of the sea, that do exist. And whales have been around. They reckon they lived to several hundred years because they found harpoons in the side of dead whales that are from the about 200 years, 300 years ago. So they do live a long time, whales do.
Yeah.
But they are the biggest monsters there are. And I think that there are creatures under the sea that we do know nothing about that are possibly huge.
Yeah.
But you're quite right, because how comes that dinosaurs didn't exist before Darwin?
Exactly.
You know, it's
just a prop.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Prop for the ridiculous theory that is evolution.
That's right. I mean, I don't believe in the theory of evolution. I believe that we adapt. Yes, we do adapt. That's obvious.
Well, that's called microevolution. It's macroevolution that I have a problem with. That's the changing of one whole species into another whole species. Just not possible.
Well, if we'd actually come from apes, first of all, an ape walking onto the great savannah in those days would have been eaten, and also their skin is much thicker than ours. Much thicker. They're much stronger than we are. So, and this idea, because we look a bit like apes, well, I know some people do.
Some more than others.
You will support us. But no, seriously, you know, you might as well say, well, a dog evolved from a horse because it's got 4 legs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bloody ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, you know, you can match anything up like that, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, on with the Loch Ness thing. it is my suspicion, this is Aunt Sally, it's my suspicion that the Loch Ness Monster phenomenon was started either to attract tourists, or for a more nefarious reasons, like covering up something the government were doing.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Possible.
But Sean
Nothing
says,
surprises, does it really?
hello, Sean. No relation to John. Now, this is a brilliant one. And this is a brilliant one that Paul Green has come up with. And this is a classic. This is real goodness. Seriously. He always comes up with goodness. Lots of people do. There was a strong rumour that Aleister Crowley brought the Loch Ness Monster into reality during one of his sessions at Inniskillen Lodge. Don't buy it myself.
Yeah, because he had Boleskine House was on the banks of Loch Ness, wasn't it? Aleister Crowley's house.
Yeah. Yeah, which was bought by what's his name out of that?
Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page. Yeah, Jimmy Page bought it.
Jimmy Page. Didn't Jimmy Savile
also a Satanist?
Didn't Jimmy Savile have a place around there as well? Jimmy Savile.
He was up in Glencoe.
Was he?
He had a cottage in Glencoe.
Engelbert Humperdinck. Shut up! Stop laughing, to myself. Sorry, it's got me going. William Shatner, Engelbert Humperdinck. I love that name. Sorry. Loch Ness is a strange place. Weird vibes. That's why Crowley was there. And we've got Bob Hollyoak, Nessie the Seal, maybe. But and then Soul Bollocks.
The bloody big seal.
Tripping, yeah. And we've got here same as moon landing hoax. Then outtakes via WikiLeaks. Laugh out loud. And we got David Jacobs, who's Dave the prepper. What is tonight's mystery subject?
One's got a mystery subject.
Be patient. Now we've got ankle.
Shall I spill the beans now? I mean, we'll go to it, but shall I tell everybody what it is?
Yeah, okay.
Right. It's called. Let me just double check. Where am I? Sorry. It is called How to Commit Mass Murder and Get Away with It. So that should be quite interesting.
I think so.
Very interesting. Far away.
Sorry, carry on. As you were,
how to commit mass murder and get away with it. I'm
going to find out. I thought we were still doing the. I thought it was
okay. We've got. We said that some people think it's a giant squid. It's Ralph Winter.
I think that's the sea one, isn't it? More than the Loch Ness one.
And then it says, Meg is alive. Really?
Megalodon. I won't be surprised, actually.
Yes.
There's a lot of our ocean that we've not discovered.
Now, this is an interesting. By the way, Engelbert Humperdinck said men in the sea. Okay. Yeah. Louise Wilcox, if they can get people to believe in invisible monsters and fairies, they can make people believe almost anything. That's an interesting one. Smoggy G says Inverness to the north, River Ness.
Yeah.
Inverness to the north of River Ness, is it? And now the deepest point, so Ref Winter says, is 230 meters.
No, I don't do meters, I do feet.
And this is blank wall. The Loch Ness Monster is my mother-in-law. Now, this is an interesting one. We got Dan MC White, Mind Control. Now, Joe's come back here, and this is what I like. We have a, we have an intelligent conversation here. So, cave paintings are also fake.
Are there any, answer this question, Joe? Are there any known cave paintings of dinosaurs? I don't think so. I think they're all like deer and buffalo and bison.
Hunting scenes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that reminds me of a joke that who remembers Arthur Mullard, that big fat Cockney comedy actor. Do you remember him? He once told a joke, and he only works in a Cockney accent. And the joke was, "What's the difference between a buffalo and a bison?"
You wash your hands in a basin.
You can't wash your hands in a buffalo, was the answer. Sorry, that was just a diversion. But yeah, no, I mean, I've never seen a cave painting with a dinosaur on because even the mainstream says that there were no dinosaurs were not alive at the same time as humans. So it's highly unlikely that there are any cave paintings with. But I mean, as a general question, Joe, I don't know. Maybe some are, maybe some aren't. I couldn't really answer that. It's not something that I've ever looked into in any kind of depth, you know.
Well, I think there was mammoths because I've actually seen pictures of woolly mammoths.
But they aren't dinosaurs, Chris.
They're not dinosaurs. You are quite correct, and they're getting away with it. Dinosaurs were around millions of years before humans. Well, you know, it's yes. I would say flat Earth is correct. Dino hoax. You know. Now there's another one here. Bob Hollyoak says, and the BS about oil coming from dinosaurs. That's correct. Fossil fuels, because it's whoops, I've just knocked the microphone over. Fossil fuels because it's not fossil fuels because they found in places like Russia that they've drilled holes, bored wells and that, and the oil is filled up again.
Yeah.
And it's carbon based.
Something to do with pressure, isn't it? It's like compression, rather than actually being a fossil fuel. Yeah, but we're told that it's a fossil fuel because it gives them an excuse to inflate the price every now and again when we're running out.
Yes. Well, if it was a fossil fuel, we'd have run out in 1946.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Because actually, the Earth, the way I look on it, is like the blood of the Earth. So if you have a little pinprick there and some micro whatever wants to keep sucking blood off of us, we produce more blood because we're losing it. And that's what the Earth's doing, basically. You know, that's the way I look at it. So it is a complete load of BS.
Very good analogy there.
Thank you. And flat Earth has said everything is fake. Yes, I'd agree with you there. Yes. Now it says, imagine, if you will, two giant dinosaurs mating. No way. Well, there was a dinosaur that ate porcupines, wasn't there? And it's called a Megasaurus. Sorry.
on that point, actually, the anatomical side of it, you know, proper, I mean, real anatomists, not just idiots who go along with the mainstream, have said on many, many occasions that these drawings of dinosaurs, and that's all they are, they're just drawings. They come out of somebody's imagination, because even the mainstream admits, when you dig down deep, if you pardon the pun, that no whole dinosaur skeleton has never been found or reconstructed, so they don't know what a single one of them looks like. They're all fake reconstructions, all these pictures that you see of them, all these models that you see of them, all these kids' toys. And lots of anatomists have come forward and said these body shapes just would not work, especially the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I was just thinking about that one.
Yeah, it just wouldn't work. And they say, oh, it had a big tail to balance it. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. You're spot on, because again, why wasn't there before, again, I'll repeat, before Darwin, why wasn't there people, museums showing loads and loads of dinosaurs? Because they had museums showing loads of mummies from Egypt. They knew about Egyptian mummies for hundreds of years, but why not them? But there's
Deb's just gone very small.
So she has. Blimey.
I hope she's okay.
I've shrunk.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I agree with John again, Aunt Sally. Dinosaurs are bollocks. Well, if they existed, they'd probably wear huge ones, wouldn't they?
Trust you.
Yeah. But and Smoggy G says it feeds the whole fossil fuel hoax. That's quite correct.
Correct.
Because
Smoggy.
did you know that? Sorry. He's going to say, John, sorry.
I just said correct, Smoggy. I just said correct, Smoggy, that's all.
Oh, I said, because did you know that petrol was a byproduct that they used to throw away because the original engines were built to run on peanut oil. And some bright spark thought, oh, we could use this. I don't even think it was known as petrol, gasoline. Thought, oh, we could use it for powering internal combustion engines. But they used to, it was literally a byproduct. It's a bit like Vaseline. Vaseline that used to come out the nodding donkeys. The oil workers, when they cut themselves, used to put Vaseline on their wounds, and they used it for years. And some bright spark came along and thought, oh, I could sell that, and make money out of it. And the rest is history. Now we got here Engelbert Humperdinck, T-Rex to a budgie. Aye, right. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You always get the BBC smug gits with the bow ties, don't you? Professor Plonker, Beelzebub, who studied it for thousands of years. It was, of course, the dinosaur, the Megasaurus, then evolved into the constipated git or something. You know, that's all that sort of garbage, isn't it? And there we got Ed shouting here, Joe Wicks, humans are our biggest monsters there is, Chris. I would go further and say psychopaths are the greatest monsters, because humans
are some humans are.
Psychos, but most of us are all right.
Nice.
Yes, they're very, very placid. And there we got here various rappers definitely evolved from apes. I did not
agree with that.
Whoa, risque.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Very, very controversial that, Dave, mate.
Yes. And Millwall supporters and that. Now, now it says here, think how much. This is another good one from Engelbert Humperdinck, and I do apologise if that's your real name, which I very much.
No, it isn't. He said earlier it's not.
Because it's classic.
As if that'd be his real name, Chris. Come on, get real.
It might be. I think there was a bloke called Engelbert Humperdinck. That's where they. It wasn't the singer. It was
he was a composer, wasn't he? And that's where the singer got his name from.
He
was a composer.
Think how much indoctrination to children about dinosaurs, toys, films, cartoons. You're spot on. Yes.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. Catch 'em young, Engelbert.
Now we've got Ancient Ruby. Speak for yourself, Chris. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. I am no monkey and never ever believed Adam and Eve either. Never made sense. No. But mind you, my Chinese star sign is a monkey, so that's why I like Peter.
I'm a monkey.
You're a monkey as well. Hey! Yeah. Should we come over and delouse each other? Eh? Oh, hang on. Oh, thank you so much, Blank Wall. Always forget this. Please hit the like button, folks, and ding the little bell. And if you're on BitShow, can you do the same as well? I don't think you ding the bell, but at least you put the like button, put your thumb up. That'd be nice. Thank you very much. And it's backed me up. Yes, you're quite right, Engelbert. It's no, Savile was Glencoe, and we got loads more. Now, shall we move on to a little film that I've got?
Oh yes,
about a rock. Now, you remember the Crystal Lady Haley that came on, talking about crystals.
Yes.
And where are we now? I've got here, and she was saying that Shongoi, which I don't know if I pronounced that right, Deb. Shongoi.
I don't know because I've not heard of it until tonight.
Shanghai, I think it's called. That is only from one place in a naughty land that we're not allowed to mention anymore, called Russia. And whether we can get it now, how dare I? And whether we can mention it, I don't know. But hang on, do you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not my stomach, I assure you.
She sounded like a sports car going past.
It was a sports car going past my house.
Oh, don't worry, John.
Or some boy racer in a souped-up thingy. What's it? I don't know.
Tin cans on the back.
Your secret is safe with us. We know you love beans, and you've been eating 2 tinfuls before coming on the show. So don't worry, your secret. Right. Now, Shongoi, I'm sure that if Haley's watching tonight, she's going, silly sod's getting it wrong. But this is what I got from it. It's only found in one place in Russia. and it's been used throughout the ages. It was used by troops to clean water and things like that. But what it does also, it helps to cut down radiation. And I've got an EMF meter, which I took to a cafe where a lot of our friends from staying in the park were, and we decided to do a test because there was a radiator there. So, and this is the test we did. And by the way, it was this hand. So any fan mail to this hand, it's now very famous. So here it comes.
Take the sunlight away.
It goes up and down, doesn't it?
It's variable, but it's pretty high. And I think you're pretty close to the sunlight. Well, that's way over 1,000. Put it back.
Right, watch this. Chongo in front. 86. 04. 45. It went down to.
Yeah.
70.
Even like coming near to it.
That's mad.
Incredible, isn't it?
Kim says it's shungite.
And that as well. So
That sounds rude.
yes. Oh, hello, Kim. Where's Kim? She. Oh, it's Shung. Was it Shungite? Yes. So, and she was there during that experiment, I believe.
Yeah.
So she can witness it, So there we are. Where's Dave gone? Is he gone? He's gone. Is it? Have we let out his?
Who's Dave?
I'm sorry. I mean, it's because we let out the secret about his beans eating, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
That's right. Now we've got here. Now we've got here. We've got this about Paul Green. Jimmy Page also brought Jack Parsons' place in San Diego.
All right.
That's
Well, I never.
Yes. Now we got here. Sorry if I can't read it. Everybody's there. How to commit mass murder and get away with it. Become a political Freemason. Now that what Louise has just said is what John is about to talk about.
When he comes back.
When he comes back. If he comes back. You might, I'm all right. I'm a little bit crude, sorry. David Jacobs, this is how to commit mass murder. Sound like Benjamin Netanyahu's biography. How to commit mass murder and get away with it. Sounds like Benjamin Netanyahu's biography. Yeah, and the Clintons as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
now,
he's going to buy a shungite helmet, so that'll be interesting next time he's on.
Did you read that? Did you hear that, John? From David Jacobs.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Typical Dave, isn't it? Yeah. Spot on.
Like it.
You'll have to come on with these quids,
Yeah.
I know. I've mentioned it to him, and he said he would. So just let him know.
Yeah. Now we got.
You'll have a comedy show.
Now we got here Engelbert Humperdinck. There has been sighting of other creatures in other lochs in Scotland, such as a morar, and also in Canada and Sweden.
All over. Everybody's got a river monster, not a river, lake monster.
Lake monster. And the Scotsman. Loch Ness is the largest body of water in the UK.
It is.
That's right. Yes. And all the water around here has been passed by the local council, so we know it's all right, isn't it? Now, 2 weeks. I'll definitely research it and let you know. Thanks, Joe, and thank you for polite, because we like polite disagreement, and we do like people, because that's what pushes you forward. I mean, with the Loch Ness monster, I'm 50-50 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now we've got here the Luz boat. I saw several ducklings disappear from a Pike Arthur Mullard. Hang on. The Pike Arthur Mullard was a PD.
Pedophile.
Arthur Mullard
was a paedophile.
Was he? I don't know.
I haven't heard that.
A long time ago. Sussex rhubarb. Oh, hello, Sussex rhubarb. What are trilobite fossils?
Trilobite fossils.
Certainly not dinosaurs, that's for sure. They're supposed to be like mollusks, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
They're like big snail things, aren't they?
Yeah, giant woodlice.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. They're not dinosaurs anyway, that's for sure.
It's right. loves pedo. That's what he meant. Yeah, that's it. Now this is an interesting one from Flat Earth. There have been plenty of giant human bones found, though. I don't know whether that's
Correct.
a hoax or not. I don't know. I don't know much about it. I don't want to.
Yeah, again, it could be, of course, but yeah, I think that's more plausible than the dinosaurs theory for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ancient texts that talk about giant humans and things like that. So
yeah,
it could all be a hoax still, but
Well, the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Bible, is it David and Goliath, the giants and things like that? But there's always been giants because there are people that have, some problem where they keep growing. Yes. And there's dwarfism as well, isn't there? Now we got here, Angela Dempsey. Hello, Angela. They made people believe in the. Oh, that's a brilliant one. The boogie book. That's a classic. I like that one because it's on television. Oh, brilliant! Thanks, Angela. That's a good. I like the boogie bug. Now we got here. Joe Wicks.
Am I missing something? What does that mean? Boogie bug. Sorry,
boogie bug.
Well, we could. It's hang on.
Well, we've had for the last 2 years, 3 years, 2 years.
Hang on.
Oh, right. Okay, that one. Right.
That one.
Yes, because there's.
Yeah.
And this is a host kisses from ladies, humanity and kindness, welcome. And then people have been getting that.
That's true.
Right.
Not
now,
me.
John, do you feel an advert coming on? What do you think?
Yes.
Do you feel before we
in the bones, Chris?
There's poor sod sitting there. Who's John going to speak about this thing? I can't wait.
Dinosaur bones.
It's dinosaur bones. So let's sit back
and
enjoy these adverts. Here we go for an advert break. It's a new one this week. Ooh. An opinion can only be formed by looking at the evidence. Nowadays, information is overwhelmingly corrupted by corporate and agenda interests that often relies upon mass ignorance to survive. John Hamer is a best-selling author who cuts through the jungle of lies to bring you thoroughly researched information. His books are obtainable from his website, allthewsfortificationofhistory.co.uk, or Amazon, or if you wish to contact him, he can be contacted on jch120752@gmail.com. Thank you. Hello, if you don't want to meet people like this, dressed in leotards and acting strangely, or if you don't want people that do things like this, then why not go along to Yoga Harps? You can see the website just here, advertised at the bottom of the page, for jolly nice people, or telephone 07463 021 512. And remember to tell Vicky, who runs the class, where you saw this advert. Thank you very much. I lost you all. There we go. Hey, right. So
that kept breaking up for me. Did it for anyone else?
What's that?
No.
Okay.
No, it was all right.
I'm
just thought it kept breaking up for me. That it was kind of like stalling. Anyway, probably just mine.
Now, we got Robert Dorr here. Before we go on to your next subject, and he's saying, people are saying, for Christ's sake, he's not going to speak about how to, this next subject. I just put this one in, which is to him. This is Robert Dorr. Hello, Robert. Theorists have had a field day with human intellectual laziness and gullibility. You are spot on. Yes.
Good,
I mean, it's like it's right. I mean, in this country, we had a bloke called James Burke. If you're anywhere else in the world, you probably never heard of him. But he was the science correspondent, And during the moon landings and all that, so-called, he was telling people all the bullshit that was going on, yes. And it took 5 blokes, I think it was, to get him into a spacesuit. He wasn't a fat git, he was quite slim. And then there's all these blokes all in NASA trying to get him into this spacesuit. Now, you think there's 3 blokes in an area the size that's underneath the average person's staircase.
Yeah.
You couldn't even change your jeans in that space.
Doesn't work.
That's right. And hang on a minute, we got here. It's like Dennis. Was it Dennis?
Dennis and Man.
Oh yes, that was right. All just fabricated from a bit of knuckle bone. Yes. So and then we got Robert. It's no coincidence that one fantastic special story feeds another.
Spacious.
I'm terribly sorry. Right. Now we got here the real T-Rex was only 4 feet tall. There was only ever one born after a crocodile hunter.
Nice one, Dave. I don't even want to think about that.
Right. And
not a pretty sight, that is it?
Not really.
We got Kath. Hello, sorry I'm late. Have note from parents.
That's okay. You don't have to do lines if you've got a note.
That's good, excellent. Right, we got. You ain't missed much. You really. We're just warming up. So
anyway, it's all bullshit as usual.
Can't miss much.
Right, shall we carry on a bit more? We've got loads in chat about the monster, or a Loch Ness monster rather. And do you want to read out? Has it changed the thing? Deb,
our poll is saying, oh, yes, 48%, no, 52%. So it's swapped.
It's swapped round, yes.
Swapped round.
My work here is done.
Yeah, it's all John's fault.
Okay, John, that's excellent. Right. What's this? There we got here. I want to make a joke about the king of the dinosaurs' arm and a new infamous drug scandal, but I fear it will be misconstrued.
I'll have to think about that one. That's put me on the spot.
Yes.
That's like a riddle, isn't it, Matt? I mean.
Oh, hang on. Uncle Hubbard, my real name is Chom Jones. Please release me.
I noticed Kim said that's not unusual earlier on.
What's this? Adam and Eve makes more sense than Adam and Steve. Oh, his quiz was brilliant today. Forgot to say about I.T.M.A. Oh, this is what this name of this show is. I.T.M.A. show. They were 10th anniversary peaks, late 50s, when I was a kid. That's why you remember them.
No, I don't.
I don't remember. Tommy Hanley was famous, but now we got here Ralph Winter. What's that?
Coelacanth. It's called
coelacanth. Terribly sorry.
Coelacanth.
Fish that's thought to have gone extinct along with dinosaurs 66 million years ago, before unexpectedly being found alive and well in 1938 off South Africa's east coast. And my father remembers that. He was old enough to remember it. So that's interesting. Now it says here, and Kim has backed me up. Yes, it's Shungai, and Shungai to you as well, Kim.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's still getting. I wonder if it's on the old black market now. You know, want some Shungai, you know, it's cheap. Now she's got here. I got some Shungai from you know where. Did you really? Well, good for you. Was it David Jaggers? I'm now going to buy Shungai.
That's what I said. That's going to be interesting.
That's what you said earlier. Yeah. Right. Right. So shall we go on to how to commit? John, so it's over to you.
What? How to commit mass murder and get away with it?
Yes. Right. Yes.
This is meant to be not meant to be taken seriously. If you're listening, YouTube spies, this is not me advocating people killing each other. This is just well, I suppose it's debatable depending on your viewpoint, but it's just meant to be a humorous piece that I wrote 3 or 4 years ago, and it's fairly short. So I'm going to read it because I can't obviously remember it word for word. So I'll read it. It's actually on my website if anybody wants to go there and look afterwards. But yeah, it's just to repeat, it's called "How to Commit Mass Murder and Get Away with It." So are we all sat comfortably?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
Yes. We're all sat comfortably.
Right. Killing stupid people is lots of fun. If you're a sick psychopath, that is. Unfortunately, there is such a thing as the justice system, and it tends to go after you if it notices you're killing people. But don't worry, there's a solution to this, and it's very simple. Outsmart the justice system. I'll show you how it can be done and how you can get a high score in the dystopian nightmare that is our modern Western civilization. Step 1. Find something that's dangerous, but not yet illegal. How do I find something that's dangerous, but not yet illegal, you may wonder? Luckily for you, this is very simple. Independent scientists are constantly looking for things that are killing people because they're born with a conscience and would like to save lives. Look at their discoveries and put your money into whatever it is that they're worried about. Let's say they discovered, for example, that microwave radiation is dangerous. Invest in microwave technology and fund studies that pretend that everything is safe. This allows you to buy time before your technology is banned due to public outrage. Step 2. This is for the real geniuses amongst you. It's one thing to just kill people. It's another to get paid by the people you're killing. But if you're really clever, you can make your weapon mandatory whilst getting paid to kill people. William's arm brew is one example. Another is fluorescent light bulbs. You come up with the idea to ban traditional light bulbs, thus forcing people to buy fluorescent light bulbs. How do you get people to ban traditional light bulbs? That's easy. Again, look for something that they all have an irrational fear of. A good example would be terrorism. Tell them that traditional light bulbs can be used to build homemade bombs, so need to be banned. And if nobody believes that, tell them instead that you can stop global warming by banning traditional light bulbs. Step 3. How the hell do I kill people with fluorescent light bulbs, you may ask? Encourage them to snort up the mercury? Well, yeah, that would be one way, but my suggestion to you is to be patient. A study from 1982 found that exposure to fluorescent lighting at work was associated with a 2-to-1 relative risk of malignant melanoma, aka deadly skin cancer. In those exposed for more than 10 years, the risk becomes massive. Note, this is 1982 when fluorescent lighting was still relatively rare. How many people have died from skin cancer since then whose deaths could have been prevented? Countless numbers, without a doubt. So what we do now is sell our light bulbs and wait while we get rich. Step 4. Skin cancer deaths are now increasing. People are beginning to get worried and you're looking for a scapegoat. Our plan is succeeding. You may be a little bit disappointed at this point. Perhaps you say, I've been selling light bulbs for 10 years, spent millions to get the traditional light bulbs banned, and still my body count hasn't reached six digits yet. Well, don't worry just yet, because now your body count will definitely go up. The reason is that we're now going to blame something healthy for the deaths that we caused. Imagine if asbestos companies came out when it was discovered it causes mesothelioma and said, mesothelioma is caused by eating fruit. They would manage to kill far more people by just telling them a lie than by selling them something deadly. Well, this is what we're going to do now too. Your body makes a hormone in response to exposure to sunlight, and this hormone is called vitamin D. It has many beneficial effects, but one of the main effects is that it prevents cancer. You can also get vitamin D in pill form. In studies where women were given vitamin D, they had a 77% reduced risk of getting cancer. In other words, if you can make people deficient in vitamin D, you can make them get the C word. And how do we make them deficient? Easy. We have to keep them out of the sun. Remember that skin C epidemic we created, that's going to come in very handy for the next step in our plan. What we're going to do now is tell people the reason that they're now all getting skin C is not from our fluorescent light bulbs, but because they sit around in the sun all day. But won't this mean we actually save lives? Well, let's look at the facts. Each year, more than 2,500 people die from skin C in the UK. Sounds like a lot. Well, it's not when we look at the total amount of C deaths. In 2016, there were more than 166,000 C deaths in the UK. But actually, most of the skin C deaths, almost 2,000 each year, are from malignant melanoma. These skin C deaths are probably not caused by the sun. How do I know this? Swedish scientists did a study comparing people who work in the office indoors, but not in an office, and people who work outdoors. And this was the result. They found 1,364 cases of malignant melanoma in office workers compared to an expected 1,043. In indoor non-office workers, they found 2,426 cases versus an expected number of 2,583. But here's the best part. In outdoor workers, they found only 916 cases versus an expected number of 1,065. The people exposed to sunlight the most had a much lower risk than the people not exposed to sunlight. And another study found that melanoma is more common on covered parts of the body than on those exposed to the sun. So let's scrap the melanoma deaths. This leaves us with 500 skin cancer deaths per year in the UK on average, compared to the total number of C deaths of 166,000. That's about 1/6 of the number of people that die in the UK from road accidents, for example. But it gets even better. About 193,000 people die every year in the UK from cardiovascular disease. And vitamin D deficiency also raises the risk of cardiovascular disease. It also reduces your risk of diabetes. I think you get the point. If we can convince people to stay out of the sun, we can cause mass slaughter. Here's what we do. We set up a campaign to prevent skin C by telling people to stay out of the sun, or if they have to be in the sun, cover their exposed skin with factor 50 sunblock, which will in effect do the same job. It's very easy, we just have to start it. We start raising the alarm about an increase in skin C, and society will do much of the work for us. They'll rally behind our campaign because they're scared. Doctors will tell their patients with a tan to stop sitting in the sun all day. Mothers will keep their children inside to watch TV and eat fast food instead of going outside in the fresh air where the sun will kill them. They're so stupid, I promise you, they'll swallow anything, and especially this story. And before you know, you'll have campaigns like these. Before you know, you'll have campaigns like these everywhere. But of course, not everyone can be convinced to stay out of the sun. But there's a solution for that. We tell them that if they have to go outside, they should apply sunblock. The type of radiation that creates vitamin D is within the UVB wavelength. However, humans will still want to get their tan. Thus, we can't block all radiation. But by now, we've scammed them so much. Let's scam them a little more. Let's sell them sunblock that blocks UVB but doesn't block UVA. And we'll tell them that UVB causes skin C, when in fact it's UVA that's responsible. Step 5. By now, there are not many mass murderers left who can compete with our body count. Idi Amin, Pol Pot, Stalin, all mere amateurs, but we haven't even started yet. People now avoid the sun and thus stay more inside, where they're exposed to the fluorescent lighting we installed in their homes and offices. Many places leave fluorescent lighting on, despite the fact that it's the middle of the day. Thus, skin C deaths keep going up. Because people are now vitamin D deficient, thanks to us, heart disease and diabetes and C in general are going up too. This is where most of our score comes from. But people are catching on now. They're telling us, I've avoided the sun for the past 20 years, and now I've got malignant melanoma. And my stupid sister who goes to the beach every day is fine. What's going on here? This is where we tell them our next scam. We tell them that it's already too late. They had sunburn as a kid. and now they're destined to die from skin sea. They'll just have to accept their fate. We will tell them to please, please think of the children. Don't let them play outside. They might start to enjoy their existence on this planet, and we can't risk that. Keep your children inside at all costs. Let them play FIFA 2018 instead of real football. Let them watch the Discovery Channel so that they will realise this is for their own good and keep them restricted. If they get depressed, give them Prozac. If they have too much energy, it's not because they're free to roam, it's because they're sick, and that sickness is called ADHD. You can cure it by growing your son a pair of breasts through the use of Ritalin and other such wonder drugs. And we'll tell them that peer-reviewed, double-blind, super scientific studies done by people with IQs 1,000 times higher than theirs have shown for definite that growing your son's breasts will cure his ADHD. And if they object, we'll just call them right-wing populist, scientifically illiterate, demagogic conspiracy theorists. And while they're busy trying to work out what that means, we're off to a banana republic that doesn't have an extradition treaty. We can do this, you and me. Give me a call.
Brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
I know.
You've got away with words.
So got away with murder.
Yeah, literally.
That's exactly what they do. I mean, this is, this is causing more death. I didn't mention the real C word as little as I possibly could, because I didn't want to, trigger anything.
Yeah,
I may have already done that, but I don't know. If we suddenly drop off air, then you'll know why.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, this is exactly what they're doing. This is exactly what they're doing. I mean, it's kind of half joking, but it's not funny, really.
No,
this is deadly serious. Well, this is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Look at thalidomide. Now that came out, and I didn't realise it was out for years.
Yeah.
Until they discovered it. I mean, for example, another thing. When I was a little kid and went to the dentist, you probably remember this, John. They give you a lump sugar. You go, oh, have a lump sugar. Lump sugar. You just go out from the dentist and give them a lump sugar.
You used to get your polio vaccine on that.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes. And because I found that polio actually comes from a spray that they sprayed apples with to stop fungus. And President, it was in power in 1933 in America. President, oh, come on, brain, think. John, it was a president in the 1930s, into the war.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Roosevelt.
Yeah, he got polio because he was playing in an apple orchard when they were spraying it. So it was from a spray, and it carried on from there. Yeah, probably. I don't know.
DDT was the cause of polio. I think we're on a very sticky wicket here, actually.
Yeah, we better
all this real health.
Yes, we better be a bit careful. Now, back to the chat. That was, you got away with words, which is unique. It's a skill that I'm envious of. It's absolutely fantastic. The way you put these words together, it is brilliant. And you've really got to read John's books. They're terrific. I think you can back that up.
I've just finished JFK.
Really? What literally?
Very good.
Isn't it strange though that Christianity has a cross as a symbol where someone's crucified on? So why don't JFK supporters have a picture of a rifle?
Yeah.
Have sort of like a rifle medallion. I'm with JFK, a big sort of rifle medallion around their neck. Just a thought, Now we got some interesting things here. I'm sure there could be a lot of comments about what you just said, John.
Yeah.
But we've got Jay said, a sure way to find out if the Loch Ness monster exists is to drop Alison Hammond into the loch. All the water will be displaced, naming a clear view right to the bottom. Brilliant idea there, John. Yeah, I like that one. Now, Kat has come up with a brilliant one. Giant and the size of trees, etc. Oh, yes, in former years suggest that there is a lot of truth Great documentary called There Are No Forests on Earth. Really recommend. Yes, have you seen that? Where tabletop mountains, for example, when you look at them, they look like ancient tree stumps that have been cut.
Yeah.
Just you know, and Engelbert Humpeldonk. Was that an Indian Scots accent?
I think it was, yeah. We questioned it, trying to do it.
John Basingloan, which I believe, if I'm right, is from Alabama. You're in Alabama at the moment. An English with it saying Alabama. I'm not sure I've actually mentioned that. Alabama. Watch Fletcher Prolty discuss the lie about fossil fuels and the lie of peak oil. He was one of the honest men who worked close to the cabal in Washington, D.C.
He was responsible for formulating something called Prouty's Rule. And Prouty's Rule states that you don't have to make an assassination. You don't have to fake an assassination. You just allow it to happen by removing all the security staff subtly.
Right, yeah.
Which is exactly what happened. If you just read JFK, Deb, you'll see that that's exactly what they did. They just removed all the security staff, and it just happens organically.
And then afterwards, they always have false leads, don't they? It's a bit like the now, I don't believe they ever landed on the moon, but now what they're saying is they saw UFOs and there's cities on the moon, and bullshit. Because what they're doing, they're showing, they're sort of like, if we had to lie tonight and say that we're all sitting in a studio in Moscow, say, people say, well, what's it like in Moscow? You might be able to look on the internet and find out what it's like, but people that are resident there would within minutes notice that we were lying out of our back.
Yes.
So what they do, they reinforce a lie. People reinforce them to make it look, oh yes, you know, and you just keep mentioning the lie over and over and again. And that's what they're doing with this space thing, in my view. You know, the old astronauts, the old geriatrics, they're wheeling out saying, oh yes, I looked out the window and saw this strange object whizzing along next to us. Sorry, that's an English accent, not an American one, but you know what I mean.
Well, we're not sure.
Dan MC, oh yay, I had to tell that Paul Cook channel that giants did not erect Stonehenge. He hadn't heard of geopolymer, but his next vid was all about geopolymers via the link I shared with him. That's interesting, Dan. Because there's a big myth going around.
Share it with us, Dan.
Yes, please, if you could. There's a big myth going around now that's saying that Stonehenge was erected in the 50s, which is bullshit. Because I went to Stonehenge when I was a little nipper with my parents, and they had an exhibition there on how they, in the 1950s, managed to Stonehenge. Most of the stones have fallen over. How they managed to pick them up and put them back into the place that they thought they should be, because some people say in the 20s. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I was just going to say it also appears in the Thomas Hardy novel, which was written in the 1870s, Test of the D'Urbervilles.
That's right.
Yes.
And there's drawings of it going back years. And the only reason they did it, and they're quite open about it, and they had cranes there and they were lifting up the rocks and putting them on top of each other. Simple, done. You know, that was it. It was no big deal. They had so-called archaeologists there. So it's about the only time I've ever backed the establishment, because it was actually kind of wouldn't say rebuilt, but they picked the stones up. And they were quite proud of what they did when I went there. Now, it's got here... It's got here, Engelbert Humperdinck. How come my dad's pigeon does not have scales? You got a point there, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's about dinosaurs. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a very good point, yes. So we got here... That's right. I remember James Burke on Tomorrow's World.
Oh, yes. I knew that I had heard that name somewhere.
Yes.
Yes.
And what happened is he showed on the film that this is James Burke, accidentally, that once the astronauts are put inside their capsule at the top, they could get out, and they went down like a helter-skelter slide right to the bottom of the launch pad. So when this rocket took off, they would safely be underneath the rocket and survive it taking off. And he didn't realise he was spilling the beans, because I think they did get out and slide down the helter-skelter bit. But why did the rocket have to be loud and noisy and go? Why couldn't it go?
That's true.
It was a right smug git, wasn't it, James Burke? The way patronising, smug git he was. The way he used to talk to the audience.
Yes. Right. What's this? Engelbert Hubbard. Gorgeous George was a right tit, wasn't he? In that leotard. That's right. Now we got here Sue Jordan. Sorry, only just joined the show. All lines for you then. I'll bring extra lines and note from parents on Thursday. Excellent. Thanks, Sue. Yes, that's good. But it's true what you said about hang on. David Jacobs has just come back with one. What's it there? Absolutely brilliant monologue by the great John Hamer. Fantastic. Yes, it was.
The check's in the post, Dave. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
What we're really talking about is that psychopaths, because people don't realise who the real enemy is. It's psychos all the time. It always has been. And because they look like us doesn't mean to say they are like us. And that's for a whole program, which I'd like to do in the near future, about entities that we dare not see that enter into people's bodies, because I'm a firm believer of it. And I think it does exist. And there's a
show.
Yes.
You shouldn't talk about entering other people's bodies. This is a family show.
It's definitely another channel.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember when I got cramped the other week? And if people got chewed in halfway through, there's a lady sitting next to me, and I'm going, oh. That's disgusting.
Chris, that just reminds me of something. Sorry, that reminds me of something. You know, our conversation yesterday and what you told me you were suffering from. Cramp is one of the symptoms of that.
Yes, that was dehydration.
Dehydration.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm drinking loads and loads of water.
So that was your early warning.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And now we got here. Thanks for that, John. And we got someone saying Bob Hull, Clive de Cole shop. Yes, but we've got Miles on, so he's cheaper than Clive de Cole. Budget version. No, he's bloody good. He really is, you know. And he certainly helped me out. John, what do you think about block blue bulbs? This is from Bob Hollier.
Yeah. I mean, I've considered getting them myself. I mean, obviously doing what I do, I spend a lot of time staring at a screen, and I think it does actually affect me badly, you know. And I think that they do help. In fact, Shannon, my co-author friend in the States, who's been on the show several times, maybe before a lot of you newbies in the audience. But Shannon's been on the show several times, and she'll be coming on again soon, no doubt. She swears by it. Blue light blockers. Yeah. So
you can get them in your glasses, can't you? These are
yes. Yeah.
And
I think that's what she wears. She wears blue light glasses.
Yeah, good idea. And actually, what we got here is Cat Holsworth says, I still buy incandescent bulbs in bulk on eBay. I didn't know you could still get them.
Very wise. Very wise.
Yeah, very wise. Angela Dempsey said, NASA government centers flat, non-rotating Earth, Dryden PDF document from August 88. Saw video about this on EYA Censored. Now that's interesting.
There are loads of official documents, especially American ones, that admit that the Earth is flat. Loads of them. Pilot manuals and things like that.
Yes.
It's not that hard to find them.
Yes, Clive's stuff is top notch. Yes, I know Clive. I don't know him personally, but I know of Clive Nicole. But we've got Miles Fleetwood, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, he might want to come on. I don't know, but you can have too many, and I know he's a good mate of mine, Miles. So he's good to have on. And so I actually my blood pressure went through the roof, and I went over to see him, and he said, "You're dehydrated." And he said, hydrate yourself, and I hydrate myself, and blood pressure went down.
Yeah.
But when I saw my blood pressure through the roof, I went, I went over there, and he said, no, don't worry about it. He said, you're just dehydrated. Because that morning, I was in this cafe, and the sun was shining through, and it was boiling hot, dry as a bone. I've been eating chips.
Yeah.
So, that's it. And somebody brought one of these pressure things along, and bloody hell, I mean, but that's it, it's dehydration. Yeah. Because apparently, our blood has got to be the viscosity of seawater.
Yeah.
It's going to be like like that. Anyway, on with the show. We've got here, Kath Holdsworth says, sun cream is largely carcinogenic, as we know, but you can buy organic. Well, a friend of mine, sadly, she's no longer with us. She used to. When she was gardening, she was a real sort of into the earth. She used to just rub mud over her as a sunblocker. And she said that's what our ancestors used to do.
Yeah.
And mud has lots of healing properties in it. So there you go. That was something interesting there. And what we got, it says here, Engelbert Humperdonk, sunshine, best cure for everything. That's why I'm in Scotland. Oops. Now she says here, Kath Holdsworth says only use coconut oil. That's interesting.
Yes.
Because what I do every morning is, and there's nothing rude about this, I actually do oil pulling. Have you ever heard of oil pulling?
No.
People go, "What disgusting!" Putting their hands over the children's ears. Get that disgusting man off. No,
send him down to bed.
If you buy yourself, go and buy some coconut oil in. So if you're in America, you've got a long way to come to get it. But Aldi's said it's cheap; they're pretty good, and you don't have to have organic or anything like that. What I do, I'll put a little bit of coconut oil in my mouth in the morning, and swill it around my mouth for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and then spit it out and clean your mouth out. And what that does, there's more germs apparently in your mouth than any other place.
Yeah.
It clears a lot of filth and dirt out of your mouth, and then that's it. So it's called oil pulling. It's very good for your teeth.
Yes. He's got all his own teeth. He doesn't take them out on a night.
That's right. Donny Osmond type teeth. Why? Yeah. Right. Now it says here, Aunt Sally, I'm not disputing anything that John is saying, but how comes the people I know with melanoma have it on their back in a place not exposed to wearing normal clothes?
I don't understand. Isn't that exactly what I was saying?
Okay. That's exactly what you're saying. That's right. It's actually under your clothes you get melanoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And
lack of vitamin D.
Yeah. That's it. Yes. Now this is John Basingloan and again a Alabama. John Hamer. He's probably sitting there thinking, bloody English git, he can't pronounce where I'm from.
But he can't do the accent.
Can't do the accent, John Hamer. It must be really strange in America when the English people taking off Americans.
Yeah.
It's a bit like us listening to Dick Van Dyke trying to be a Cockney. Hello, we're Scotland. How are you?
It's not right.
John Hamer.
Whenever.
Sorry? What was that?
No, carry on. Sorry. That's fine.
John Hamer, you are too inquisitive, discerning, and intelligent for the idiocracy that Western civilization is now consumed by.
True.
True.
Oh. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
I don't care what they all say about you, John. I think you're okay. Sorry, my friend. I'm only kidding.
What's this now? Robert Dort. Roosevelt, the bitter bit. Sometimes karma is
Bite a bit.
Yes, the bite a bit. Sorry, not bitter bit, bite a bit. Yes, Roosevelt was not the nice man that we're led to believe. And when you see film, carefully edited, when he croaked it, and people are going, you know, this is what gets me. They don't know the person, they never met them, but they're sobbing their bloody heart out. But no, I think that was all very contrived because he was not the nice man that we think he was, because he did. Well, you know, as always, reverse everything. When establishment says there's a hero you should worship, they're generally evil. And if there's people that they think are evil, generally okay.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't put Stalin or Mao in that category. They were the most evil bastards ever.
Yeah.
You know, but strangely enough, I was actually watching a show, Brian Rue show on BitChute. He's been completely booted off YouTube, and he was talking to some Russians who believed that Stalin was okay. I listened to it, but I thought, no, the millennials they were, and I thought, this is bullshit. This is what they've been told at university. Yeah. This is really, you know, because now it says
he was our ally during the war, and without Stalin, we wouldn't have won the war.
Right.
That was bad news anyway, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's good. I reckon the Americans were sitting there, excuse my language, pissing themselves laughing at us trying to take off American accents. Ancient ruby, oil pulling with sea oil, yes, is best for cleaning too. Very good idea. Yes. And I looked in. I won't say the name of the firm, but they got a Dutch name. And Hollenborough. I didn't say that, did I? And I looked at their sea oil, and I think that sniffing the outside the jar, I think you probably get more percentage of it.
Yeah,
it's so little. Now it's got here. Was it? Oh, here we are. I was Aunt Sally again.
I was reading that.
What I meant was they had melanoma. Sorry, I'll get it right. In a typical place that the sun had burnt them previously, the top of their back or shoulder.
After lashing on lots of sunblock, no doubt.
Yes.
Which is what really causes it, not the sun.
And also, do you remember in the 1990s when the sun really burnt you for a couple of years?
Yes.
I was driving back from the Lake District and I was driving along and I was driving south and the sun was going down and it was like a bloody ray lamp on the side of it. I had to actually put something up on the side of my window because it was really burning me.
Yeah.
And that was it. Anyway,
glass magnifies.
Yeah.
Sorry, glass magnifies the. Can't remember, is it UVB or UVA rays? One of the two. Glass magnifies it.
UVA,
you cannot get tan through glass, but it magnifies the harmful rays through glass.
Mm-hmm. Now it says here, Michelle Salisbury. Wow, thanks for that tip, Chris. I'd never heard of oil pulling before. Well, when I see you on Thursday, I'll do a demonstration, and I won't spit it out all over the table, will I? No, I won't do a demonstration. We'll just go. But the thing is, what happens? We start oil pulling, and your neighbour knocks at the door. Now we got some advice on here. We got Mish. Hello, Mish. Athletes always replenish salt. Gives energy.
Pink salt, Himalayan salt.
Himalayan salt, and the salt that you put on that you. Well, I'll tell you something, the salt that you buy in supermarkets, that's only fit for washing dishes.
Yeah.
And I won't say killing slugs, so I don't kill slugs.
No.
And Haji, charcoal and fennel seeds was medieval toothpaste.
Charcoal's good for your teeth. White.
Very good for your teeth. And also, did you know that if you have some food that's a bit iffy, I always have charcoal tablets in my home. So if I eat something that's a bit you know, like, I don't know, the worst thing to have is scampi if you go out, because you don't know how fresh it is. And if you get the 2 bob bits when you come back, have some charcoal, and that is brilliant. It soaks up all the poisons. And
settles the tin.
That's right. When a child eats, say, the contents of a medical cabinet, the first thing they do when they get them into the ambulance is pump them full of charcoal.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Right, now we got here.
Absorbs the poison.
Now, Kath is Lidl and Aldi both sell organic coconut oil very cheaply. That's where I get mine. I wonder if they've got Lidl and Aldi in America. I suppose they might.
No, I doubt it.
Yes.
Walmart.
And
Walmart.
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
Where our equivalents is boring words like Wix and B&Q, like, ain't it? Oh, was it Harbour Freight? What a nice one, Harbour Freight. We've got Home Base.
Yeah. That's all right.
Engelbert Humperdinck swishing good whiskey for 10 minutes every morning when swallowing perks me up. Now, it says here, Hatchie said Stalin had scientists trying to cross orangutans with humans in the 20s. Fortunately, it didn't work.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Oh, it might.
From what I've seen, it did sometimes.
It's debatable, isn't it?
Well, they did some terrible things.
We're totally different bloody species, aren't we? It's like trying to cross a dog with a donkey.
Yeah.
But what gets me is that they did it with it was in the 60s. They actually put 2 heads on an Alsatian. How cruel is that? Sick bastards. Absolutely sick.
We don't know what they're doing behind closed doors.
Oh no. Bob Hollyoak, C60 charcoal. Never heard of it. Because
maybe that's the strength or something, or the make.
Because apparently our health went downhill when we started to cook in gas ovens and electric ovens, because what they used to do, that all the ash from, say, the old fires, because all the fires were wooden. But you fueled it with wood. They were put on the garden, and that was vital ingredients for the plants.
Yeah.
And then you'd eat the veg, and you get the nutrients back in you. And when they stop that, you know, and now what we got here, we got here mish, good salt with minerals, table salt equals poison, spot on. And that's why I only use it for washing glasses with. It's very good for washing glasses.
Yeah, it is.
And if you got bits of old crud on the bottom of a saucepan, salt is a good way of getting it off.
It is.
But bicarb is a little bit more expensive, but that's even better, you know.
Yes.
And Frankenlabs, Kath Holdsworth said. And now this is interesting. No, hang on, what we got here? That's it. Engelbert Humperdinck said scientists mixed baboon DNA and lamb wool and produced Boris.
That would make total sense.
Yeah. Then we got here. What's this? Oh, sorry. They also made soap out of hardwood ash. That's right. Yes. And it's like coal tar. Now, I always thought that coal tar was bad for you, but there's Wright's coal tar soap.
Yeah, I remember the smell of that.
Nice smell, isn't it?
I love that smell of it. Lovely smell.
Yeah. I tell you that smell I absolutely detest, makes me reach. Vic Vapor Rub. It always reminds me when I was a kid.
Yeah, you got to slap them everywhere.
Bloody hell.
I had a bloody, what is it, atomizer thing in my bedroom. It was just like a little aluminium thing that you put a tea light in, and you put Vicks in the top, and it like filled the room with the smell of Vicks, because I always had bad chests and snotty noses and all sorts.
I tell you the other one is paraffin. Paraffin oil stoves. There was something, and people always used to say, "Oh, it doesn't smell. I cleaned the stove out last week." Oh, bloody hell!
Do you remember camphor oil? I used to get camphor oil rubbed on my back.
I remember camphor oil. I never had it rubbed on my back though.
Yeah, because I used to get guitar. It was good for stuff like that, apparently.
Yeah. The other one was goose grease, wasn't it?
Yes.
People used to put goose grease on a
brown paper.
Brown paper. Now we've got this. What's this? Worst smell ever is dead body and olive oil.
Yeah, olive oil's a bit. I do cook with it, but
well, apparently, according to Miles, it's the worst thing you can cook with.
Is it?
Yes, but there's an Italian lady, and well, say she was born here, but her parents were Italian, and of course she said, well, my relatives back in Italy have been was Rosanna actually, because nobody knows Rosanna. She said they've her aunties lived to 100 odd, and they always cooked with olive oil and fried with it, and they've been all right. But apparently, it's the worst thing. It gives off nasty, whatever it is, negative, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. But this is interesting. Whoops, what have we got here? Bob Hollyoak. Also, the evidence of on old gravestones, people were living in their 80s and 90s back 200 years ago.
Yeah, because we've always been led to believe that way back there, they lived to like 45 and no older than 50, didn't we?
That's right.
We've always been told.
Well, I remember, I'm old enough to remember, in the late 60s and early 70s, it was very common for people to live well over 100. I mean, my granddad's mother lived to almost 103.
Yeah, mine too.
And I actually remember her. Well, I was very young, but I actually remembered her. And people are not living as long today. Whatever they say. We're not living longer. It's nonsense, you know.
Yeah.
Now, hang on, you've got eucalyptus oil.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. And I'm Louise. I'm very well, thank you. Ancient River. I have a stuffy nose, but mine is purely down to standing dust. I've been rubbing all the gloss down at home.
No, I hate glossing. That's the worst part of painting.
Yes, I don't actually. Between you and I'm not very good at paint spraying, and I often do up push bikes. And paint spraying, you got to do it every day, all day, every day. Yeah. That's the only time I wear a mask is to spray paint. I don't want cellulose down my throat. But I've actually found if you buy hammerite paint, you can do it by brush, and you don't see the brush marks. So,
no, you don't. It's brilliant. I love hammerite. I've got something to paint with hammerite. Actually, I've got to get on with that.
Yes, it's expensive, but it's well worth it.
Yes, it is.
Now, best hole for Fry, Castrol GTX. Now, this is
liquid engineering.
Liquid engineering, that's it. At least your bearings will be all right, won't they? So you won't get lost. Aunt Sally, olive oil over a certain temperature, smoke point, is apparently carcinogenic. So
I don't eat it up till it's smoking anyway.
No, I don't. Now we've got here perhaps a conversation on allopathic and holistic medicine might be interesting. They burnt witches for knowledge. Mr. H, the guy that became famous in the 30s,
knew the score. Yeah,
knew the score. Yes, that's very true. Trouble is, actually, I have on the 20th of April, I have 2 people coming on the my BitChute channel, because they wouldn't be allowed on YouTube because it'd be censored. And they wrote a book. And I'm going to use rhyming slang again. What really makes you Tom and Dick? and really, what they have to say is very, very interesting. And it's something that John and I did on what we call the Naughty channel, which is BitChute, about a subject about what makes you, if you're in Australia, a bit crook, you know what I mean, mate? You know. Yeah. Right. Now we got now it's a slow killer from day one, aka Rockefeller poisons. Right. Now I think we should wind it up about now. I think that it's been a really interesting show, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, thank you very much. And what we're doing now, we're changing, instead of having one main subject, one main topic, we're having several topics in one show.
Yes.
And I think it makes it more interesting, because if you just go to one topic, you could just go into wide things. Now, I was going to talk about, but this will be probably for next week. I think it was Rockefeller, his son that got lost in Papua New Guinea.
Yes.
In 1961, I think it was.
And then there was a picture of him spotted on a boat with the tribes people.
That's right, in 1969.
Yes.
So very interesting.
Would you like the final Nessie vote before we go?
Yes, please.
Right. Does the Loch Ness Monster exist? Yes, 46%. No, 54%.
Hey, over to you, John. That's good.
We are the champions, my friend.
Yay. Before we go, we've got Cat here, who's always comes up with us. Biggest scam is spreadable butter. I won't say the trade name. There are other places, as it is 40% rapeseed oil. Best to buy traditional blocks of real butter, which you can keep out of the fridge unless it is really hot that day. Well,
that stuff isn't, that spreadable stuff is not butter. They pretend it is by calling it that trade name, but it's not. It's margarine. But they managed to, by skillful marketing, they convince you that it's butter without actually saying it, but it's not. So she's
and margarine is only one molecule away from plastic.
That's right. Have you seen that new?
Margarine is only one molecule away from plastic.
Oh, right, okay.
Now we got here. David Jacobs is back again. If
rhinoplasty
was illegal, the psychopath.
No surgery.
Oh, that's it. Mass murder would be much easier to identify. Oh, yes. Takes a little bit of thinking through that one, does.
Dave's not as daft as he looks, is he?
That's brilliant, Dave. That really is. But no, it's quite interesting about that butter thing, because they're trying to bring out all this fake butter and stuff now. And I actually buy Cornish butter, which has got little bits of sea salt in it. Have you seen that? And they do it in Lidl's, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think they do it in yes, it is Lidl's. Because where I live, I don't know it's like where you are, but the Lidl's is a bit like the DHSS on a Monday morning when you go in there, and Aldi's a bit posh.
That's true.
It's right. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and remember to ding the little bell. Sorry. Please subscribe. It costs nothing. It's free of charge to subscribe, and on BitChute as well you can subscribe, so that's all right. And also put the thumbs up. So if you're watching me on BitChute, put the thumbs up. If you're watching me on YouTube, this was the night before.
Yeah.
So if you watch on BitChute, it was last night. This was on live.
You missed it.
And I got someone praising me here, Michelle Salisbury. Please praise me. Thank you for a very interesting, entertaining show. I've learned some new things tonight. Thanks, Michelle. That's very, very kind. And I won't give. I hope you don't mind. I won't give you the oil pulling demonstration on Thursday.
Leave that.
Anyway, join us the same time, same place, 8 o'clock Mondays, and whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh. Thanks, John. Thanks, you. Thank everybody in comments. Much appreciated. Have a great week. Good night.
Bye.